Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. A number of years ago, I wrote a paper while I was in university. I wrote this paper in college for a very foolish professor. Marco knows who he is. We took that same class together. And in the paper, essentially, I was asking this question: if medical science is advancing or is moving forward, why are athletes always getting hurt? And of course, it went right over the professor's head. This dude, I think he ended up giving me like a C- or B+, right? You're like, what the heck is wrong with this dude? Who the hell does he think he is asking this type of question? Probably that's the reason he gave me that grade, right? I didn't get over that, apparently. Anyway, fast forward 7 years later, here we are. With all the medical advances that we are making, there are a lot of funny things happening, given the fact that so much money is being spent on nutrition and fitness. Nevertheless, it seems as if NBA players are always getting hurt. All this money being spent, all of these resources being pumped into this area, in sports, players are always getting hurt. And last year was the biggest piece of evidence to support this notion. Last year, here are some of the players that got injured last year, heading to the playoffs, during the playoffs. Giannis Antetokounmpo got injured, if you guys remember well. Some people can say it's a freak accident. Nevertheless, he got injured. LeBron James is suffering some injuries. Anthony Davis. Y'all remember what they were calling him? Anthony Street Clothes Davis, right? We laugh, but he's a case. Kawhi Leonard got injured. Kyrie Irving got injured. James Harden got injured. Donovan Mitchell got injured. Whatever the reason you may want to say, okay, this happened because of this happened because of that, the result is the same. A lot of people have been arguing that load management is the way of the future. They've been arguing that this is what we need to do moving forward. But apparently one player seems to disagree with this notion. And who is that player? LeBron James himself, the king of the NBA, the face of the NBA. And I was recently reading an article from CBS Sports where LeBron James had some very interesting comments about this idea. So before we go too far, what we want to do is we want to read a little bit of some of the things that LeBron James had to say regarding this issue. Now, the article starts off with the headline: Lakers LeBron James dismisses the idea of load management prevents injuries. I feel worse when I play low minutes. So let me get into the article here. LeBron James played 37 minutes in an opening night loss to the Golden State Warriors. That roughly has been his career standard. In 18 NBA seasons, James has averaged 38.2 minutes per game. Since joining the Lakers, it has been slightly more manageable at 34.5, but when they won the championship in the 2020 postseason, that number jumped back to 36.3. Yet there has been considerable debate about whether or not it makes sense to keep him in that range. James has lost huge chunk of 2 of the past 3 seasons to injury, and he will be turning 37 by the end of the year. Many have suggested, in the name of his health, James should play fewer minutes for the Lakers. The addition of Russell Westbrook seemingly enabled the Lakers to pursue that plan, as it gave them a secondary ball handler capable of running the offense without him. If James has his way, however, that opening night total of 37 minutes roughly will stay roughly where it was. It will stay all season. I don't play the game thinking about injuries, James told reporters Monday, prior to his opening night tilt with the Warriors, and I feel worse when I play low minutes. This is an argument James has put forth several times, most recently last season when a string of overtime games led to more calls for James to rest. So those are some of the statements that LeBron James made, and I have a lot of things that I want to say. He said he feels worse when he plays low minutes. I thought that was interesting. Let's continue on, which brings me to my favorite player, Kawhi Leonard. People have asked, why don't you ever critique Kawhi Leonard? Why don't you have anything strong or negative to say about Kawhi Leonard? Here we go. Kawhi Leonard, as y'all know, is my favorite player in the NBA. But Kawhi Leonard is also known as the king of load management. The king of load management. The first year he did it with the Toronto Raptors was totally understandable. Why is that? Because he was coming off an injury where he felt like he was misdiagnosed by the San Antonio Spurs medical staff. When he got to the Toronto Raptors, they wanted to be cautious with him. They didn't want to rush him into things. And he ended up playing about 62 or so, 63 or 4 games that season out of the 82 game regular season. So that was understandable because he was coming off of an injury. But then what happened? He took that same philosophy while being perfectly healthy and did it with the Los Angeles Clippers his first season. And I thought it was absurd, and it's one of the reasons I thought he should have not been mentioned for regular season MVP honors. This is me. This is Charles talking about Kawhi Leonard. Then he met Coach Tyronn Lue the second year. The Clippers hired Ty Lue the second year to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers. And Ty Lue challenged Kawhi Leonard. He challenged him to play back-to-backs. And what happened? Guess what happened? Last season, nothing happened. It turns out that Kawhi Leonard was able to play back-to-back games and nothing happened. He was A-OK, right? And I said to myself, this is an interesting situation that we have here. And it leads me to my biggest conclusion for the entire matter. I think your body will succumb to whatever limitations your mind puts on it. If you tell yourself you cannot play back-to-backs, your body will agree with you. That is a pure reality. Your body will agree with you. But if you tell yourself you can play all the time, you absolutely will. You see, the human mind works in a very interesting way. And if you really want to see where this phenomenon exists and where it really happens all the time, perform an experiment with yourself. Go to the gym by yourself and try to do a bench press routine, right? Whatever it is, 6 reps, whatever it is, right? Whatever weight you normally do. Go to the gym and do it by yourself. Then the next time you go to the gym, I want you to do the same routine, but this time go with a friend. And have that friend do the same routine with you. I can almost guarantee you that because your friend is in that room with you, you may end up pushing more weight or doing more reps just because your friend is there with you. But hold on a minute. How is that possible? If you're by yourself, how come you had one limit and in the moment you're with somebody else, you have a different limit, but it's the same you? Your size hasn't changed, your weight hasn't changed, your body composition hasn't changed. So what changed? What changed? Something in your mind, the way you thought changed. You decided, you know what, I want to be a little bit more competitive. That is a mental shift in your brain, right? It's nothing physical, it's mental. Then your body adapted to this new way of thinking. This is a reality. If you guys, anybody who works out will tell you this for free, that this happens all the time. And I want to give you guys some startling information here. After doing some research, and I told Marco we could make this video 30 minutes, but we're not going to do it. We're going to limit it here to kind of prove a point to you. If medicine and all of these things are moving forward, explain this to me. Michael Jordan played 14 years in the NBA. 14 years in the NBA. I think most of us will agree the NBA now is much more technologically advanced and medically advanced, fitness advanced, nutrition advanced today than it was 20 years ago. I think 30 years ago. We would all agree with that. Easily. Correct. Cool. Michael Jordan then, he played 14 years. Of those 14 years, 9 of those years he played 82 games. Did y'all hear what the heck I just said? In 9 of his 14 years, he played 82 games in his career. Okay. At the age of 40, with his last season with the Washington Wizards, Michael Jordan played 82 games in his last season at the age of 40 bleeping years old. If that alone is not the biggest indictment against load management, I don't know what is. You explain to me how a 40-year-old man can play 82 games in a regular season, but Kawhi Leonard, who's in his 30s, Paul George, these guys cannot play. They don't even play entire seasons anymore. And some people, if you think that is an isolated incident, go back and look at the games of Karl Malone and all. I said we can spend 20 minutes on this video. The players in the past seem to be much more durable than players today. But I thought we're moving forward. And I think this is at the heart of what LeBron James is discussing. And it's a huge conversation that needs to take place. And as I said, I'm not going to I'm not going to sit here and spend hours on this, right? But it's a question worth asking. And I think LeBron James' statements expose that. But I don't think much people are going to pick up on it because there's a major industry out there. There's a lot of money to be made. But for LeBron to say that, that is some damning comments. And if you look at the evidence, somebody got to explain to me what the heck is going on. Those are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.